This week, I need to make a few tools because I do not have a way at the moment to accurately make a sized hole. What I do most of the time is I either do it with the punch, so it's leaving a tapered hole, which is fine, or I do it on the horn if it's big enough. But I want to make some sizing punches, but I also want to make a slot punch opener. So what I have been using for a slot drift is this Harbor Freight chisel. And I've been using it for a very long time, and I don't really think about it. I just always grab it and use it. The cutting edge is garbage. They can't really handle the heat that well, and this octagon on here kind of leaves some cold shuts that I don't really like. So I want to make two slot punches, or slot punch openers. One of them is going to be 5/8 and one of them is going to be 1/2 inch. And then the rest of this I'm going to make into just drifts that I need. Okay, so I got my 1/2 inch here. But all I want to do is chase, I want to taper that, but I also want to chase the consistency of the 1/2 inch bar back. And then that is going to work for a slot punch. But I think that I'm going to go just a fuzz narrower on the tip. Test to see how good my math is, I will use the slot punch. So that slot punch works. It opens up the hole. Now that wasn't my prettiest slot that I've ever punched through something, but it worked. I had a pretty rough edge on it. But this opened it up pretty nice. Now it could be a fuzz bigger. I think that that's fine to open the hole and then I can run sizing punches because it left a pretty nice round hole I can get onto the horn with, or like I said, use a sizing punch. So since I don't have 5/8, I need to undersize this to 5/8. It's 3/4. Time to fix this drift that I made last week. So I have the 7/8 done. I have a taper at the top and a taper at the bottom. The taper at the top is just so it falls through the steel, it doesn't get hung up, and so I have a mass in between that I can forge on, which is what I want. And the rest of these I cut to 6 inches except for that 3/4 because I just had 3/4 of an inch left on it, so I just, no sense wasting it. So I'm going to do the same thing. Taper on one side that's long, short taper on the other. So I have this project complete. Now I have my 2 slot punch openers. They're basically like a chisel, except I just followed the contour of the steel. I didn't deviate from it and let it widen out at the tip. These work really well. These are both just mild steel. Actually, everything here today is mild steel because I'm not really slamming these things into anything, so I'm not too concerned about it. Now this one, the smallest one that I did, I ended up just grinding the ends because it was such a pain to hold in the forge that I just gave up on that. But I have the rest of these. So I have a square 1/2-inch punch or drift. This works really well, not much to it. I didn't show most of these just because they're just tapers on both ends. But I have 5/16, 3/8, 1/2-inch, 3/4, 7/8, and then this was another 1/2-inch. They do really well. This was the 3/4, 7/8, 1/2-inch, 3/8, and then obviously that was the 1/2-inch square. Now, I was bashing them into the steel pretty hard. I wouldn't advise that. I would get it closer with the drift or with the punch itself. So I did mar up the edges. I'm not so naive to think that these mild steel drifts are going to last forever. They're going to wear out. But I don't have any high carbon to use for it, so that's what I use. So I'll have to dress them every once in a while. But for all the more that I need them for, just to size holes out so they're more accurate, they're going to work just fine. And then one day, whenever they're completely wore out, I'll just get another piece of mild steel and redo it. Well, let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you next week.